Bleached by Ariana and Priscilla. What is coral and why is it important? Coral reefs are among the most biologically diverse and valuable ecosystems on Earth. Not only do we value them, but so do other aquatic animals and life forms. About 25% of ocean life depend on coral reefs at some point in their lives, while 500 million of people depend on them for food and coastal protection. Healthy coral reefs provide 1. Habitat, feeding, spawning, and nursery grounds for over 1 million aquatic species, including commercially harvested fish species. Coral reefs teem with diverse life. Thousands of species can be found living on one reef. 2. Food for people living near coral reefs, especially on small islands. When a coral reef supports fewer fish, plants, and animals, it also loses value as a tourist destination. 3. Recreation and tourism opportunities such as fishing, scuba diving, and snorkeling, which contribute billions of dollars to local economies.
What is causing harm to coral reefs? Coral reefs face many threats from sources such as climate change, diminishing water quality, overfishing, pollution, and unsustainable coastal development. These things are all putting pressure on coral reefs globally and locally.
They are particularly vulnerable to climate change and rising ocean temperatures, with mass coral bleaching and mortality events expected to become more common as intense temperatures rise.
How does it impact us in aquatic life? What would happen if they die? Coral takes a big part of aquatic life. It's shelter and food to many animals. Without them, Nemo would have been captured and eaten way earlier than when he did. But did you know that over half of coral reefs have already been lost, and what remains of them is at risk of rapid extinction? In fact, scientists at 2020's Ocean Sciences meeting estimated that more than 90% of our coral reefs are expected to die by 2050. So what would happen if there were no coral reefs? By now, you might have guessed that this what-if question isn't just some over-the-top scenario. The threats to our coral reefs are very real. This is what a world without them could look like. 1. 25% of marine life would lose their habitat. There's a reason why our coral reefs are known as the rainforests of the sea. Despite covering less than 1% of the ocean, they provide essential habitat for 25%, yes, 1/4 of all marine life. If their homes disappeared, marine biodiversity would suffer immensely. And, like a domino effect, many fish, turtles, and other creatures would disappear. 2. Coastal fishing industries would collapse. Okay, so coral reefs support fish, no surprises there then. But if they support fish, then they also support fishing industries and the people who consume fish too. According to the United Nations, around 1 billion people globally depend on coral reefs for their food and livelihoods. Let this sink in for a second. Their disappearance would be catastrophic, resulting in hundreds of millions of people around the world losing their main source of food and income. On top of this, the shortage of seafood and diets would inevitably put pressure on other land-based farming industries who would be required to make up for the shortfall. 3. Coastlines would take a battering. Coral reefs don't just work their magic underwater. It's a little-known fact that they have a pretty important job of protecting coastlines too, by providing a natural buffer against powerful waves and extreme weather. Without them, shorelines would be vulnerable to erosion, and rising sea levels would push coast-dwelling communities out of their homes. Nearly 200 million people rely on coral reefs to safeguard them from storms. This means that reefs already play an important and naturally cost-effective role in protecting human lives. 6. Sea would be a lot slimier. When toying with this hypothetical, but let's face it, not altogether unrealistic scenario of a reefless world, some scientists have suggested the ocean bed would eventually become dominated by algae. As the skeletal structures of the limestone reefs slowly break away, microbial life would soak up the sun's energy, producing slime. Lots of slime. Oh, and plenty of jellyfish to graze on the buffet of microbes. So, jellyfish and slime? Yay!
So what can we do to help? Here are 3 things we can all do every day to reduce the harm to coral reefs. 1. Recycle and dispose of trash properly. Coral reefs can be harmed by marine garbage. By recycling your waste at home, on the go, and remembering the 3 R's, you can avoid waste from being blown or swept away into waterways and oceans. 2. Minimize the use of fertilizers. The overuse of fertilizers on lawns has a negative impact on water quality because fertilizer nutrients wash into streams and eventually end up in the ocean. These fertilizers pollute the water and contain compounds that might destroy the coral reefs. And 3. Spread the word. You can learn more about coral reefs and spread the word to your friends and family on how to reduce harm to them. There are various things you can do to keep coral reefs healthy whether you live near the coast or 100 miles away. Many threats to coral reefs occur directly in the ocean, but many more originate on land, even if it is distant from the coast. These are just some of many lifestyle adjustments that anybody can make to improve the health of our coral reefs.